Hello YouTubers, Chuck Holler, April 3rd, 2015. Well, you're probably wondering why I have decided to put out a video so quick. And really, just to let you know, I've just felt led to, from here on out, put one out at least once a week, if not twice a week. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. This one here, the title is Unbelievable, What Are the Odds? And I guess what that is that, you know, there's a lot of times I come on here and I say a lot of things and I use the Bible as my center point of reference. But you know what? For the unbelievers, if they don't believe the Bible, what does that mean? And so this particular one here is just going to kind of prove to them that the Bible is true and that it is real. You know, 1 Corinthians 1:23 says, "To preach Christ crucified unto the Jews is a stumbling block, unto the Greeks foolishness." And I looked up a lot of words that had fool and foolishness in it here recently, only because I wanted to April Fool's Day. So anyway, what does that mean? Well, it's talking about everyone. You know, let me give you a little parable, like see if you can understand it. You know, let's say you are watching a guy walk down the street and he's in full scuba gear. You look at him and he's like, what are those things on his feet, those flippers? That is the most foolish thing. And you scan him up and you see these big hoses coming from around the back, and he's chewing on this giant respirator. He's got these god-awful goggles. You know, it's like, what in the world would somebody wear something like that for? And he turns to the side on his back, these two giant humps that makes the humpback of Notre Dame look like he's got baby skin. I mean, just a god-for-awful looking thing. And we would think, how foolish for somebody to put all that stuff on. Why would he do that? Yet when he jumps in the ocean, look what he can see. The beautiful live coral, animals, and that we don't get to see. Beautiful colors. You know, that's what it's like being a Christian. You know, you look at the way a Christian, they walk and they talk, and you think, why would somebody do that? Yet when you become one, the world that you see is so beautiful, so clear. You can't understand why anyone wouldn't want to do that. So, how do we know that you've ever wondered why there's a church on every corner? Why 1 billion people are believing in an invisible God? Well, it's like air. You can't see it, but you know it's there. You breathe it. So God knew that we would have doubts like that. So in His Word, He put prophecies. You know, a third of the Bible is prophesied on the coming of Christ. Now, for you scientific people out there, let me just throw some odds at you. Let's just say you take 8 prophecies in the Old Testament that have to do with the coming of Christ, His first time. Now, I'm not talking about a prophecy that He had a choice to fulfill. For instance, He chose to get on a white donkey on Nisan 10 and ride into Jerusalem to fulfill that prophecy. He did not choose to be crucified. He did not choose to have His beard pulled out of His face. He did not choose to have His legs broken. And it was common practice back then that it might take 2-3 days to die on a cross, because you were lifting yourself up for air. You'd come back down, you'd lift yourself up. But see, this was a holiday, and so they were going to go party, the Roman soldiers. So they decided, you know, to break all their legs. He should have had his legs broke, but Scripture said he wouldn't have a broken leg, and so he died at the last moment. He gave up the ghost as he asked for vinegar, or for something to drink, and they offered him vinegar. That was the last prophecy to be fulfilled for his first company. He fulfilled every single one of them. So if you take 8 prophecies that he had no control over, what are the odds? Well, 1 in 8 to the 63rd power. Do you understand what that means? 63rd power, that's 63 zeros. Do you know that we don't even have a number for that? There's not even a name for that. But let me put that into a way that you might be able to understand. Let's take a silver dollar, and you're sitting there watching this video in your living room. Imagine your living room is full of silver dollars 2 feet high, and all of a sudden you would reach in blindfolded, one chance, and pull out the right silver dollar. Well, those aren't 1 in 8 to the 63rd power. Let's fill up your whole yard. No, that won't work. Let's fill up the block. How about the entire city that you live in? How about the entire county that your city is in? No, still wouldn't do it. How about the state of Texas? 2 feet deep, and you would have to pick out the right silver dollar. That is what the odds are. 1 in 8 for 8 prophecies to be fulfilled. And there weren't 8, there were 300. Now, how can you deny this? So, what do we have coming up here? We have an event that was foretold in Joel and Acts, a darkened sun followed by a red blood moon. And the number 4 is all over this thing. It's going to happen on 4/4. It's the shortest blood red moon in the history of mankind, lasting 4 minutes and 44 seconds. God created the sun, the stars, and the moon on the 4th day. There were 44 kings in Israel. There are 44 presidents of the United States. 4 is all over this thing. Now, don't write me letters and tell me I'm off on the kings, because if you count Saul, David, Absalom, and David, that's 4. Just like we count Grover Cleveland was 22, there was somebody else, then he was 24. So there are 44 kings in Israel. There's a rabbi in Israel. His name is Amram Vaknin, V-A-K-N-I-M. He prophesied many years ago several events that have come to pass. One was the Gaza Fortilla. The other was the Carmel Forest Fire in 2010. The Operations Pillar of Defense in 2012. The Protective Edge in 2014. He's well known for his prophecies are coming true, and he said that the 44th President of the United States would bring bloodshed to Israel. And this was before Obama was elected as the 44th President. He just announced 2 days ago for all of Israel to go to the Wailing Wall and pray because of this blood red moon. 44 means bloodshed is what he says. And the only way to stop this is to add one number to it, he said.